How many of you know the story of Cinderella? You know, Cinderella was treated badly by her stepsisters and her stepmother, that she had to wash all the dishes, do all the laundry, and so on and so on and so on. And in the story, there's a fairy godmother, right? Well, we have a different version. This is Cinderella Updated. So Cinderella is no longer Cinderella. She is now called Cindy. And there is no fairy godmother. In fact, there's going to be a fairy text messenger. And it was written by Bernie Fishman. Now you say, Bernie Fishman, any relation? Yes, Bernie is my son, and he has written many of the stories for the Sinfonia's Music in the Schools. And in this story, we can learn how to behave with people, that we don't bully, that we are not mean to people. When Cinderella was treated really badly, that was not good, right? When she kind of wins at the end, she doesn't turn around and treat her stepsisters badly. She treats them with dignity and respect. And that is a good lesson to learn.
Once upon a time, actually, it was just a few weeks ago, a young girl named Cindy was not very happy. Her mother had died several years ago, and her new stepmom had 2 daughters and 6 cats, all who despised her. Cindy was not treated very well. She was forced to wash all of the dishes, do all of the laundry, scrub the floors, cook everyone's food, and even clean out the cat litter boxes. The cats were especially bad. When Cindy walked around the house, they would hide, and then they would jump out and claw viciously at her ankles. To pass the time and make the most of her horrible situation, Cindy would sing. She had a beautiful voice, which her stepsisters never heard because they were too busy jabbering about their own lives. Cindy's stepsisters dreamed of becoming singing stars, but instead of practicing, they spent all of their time gossiping and shopping for clothes and makeup. One day, they heard about a big-time singing audition with Dirk Burger Time Henderson, one of the hottest music producers in the business. They didn't know why anyone would want a name like Burger Time, but he served up the hits, so they weren't going to argue. For days, the stepsisters talked about what outfits they were going to wear, but never spent any time practicing. Cindy instead listened to their chatter and started getting more and more irritated. Oh, there was no way she would ever be allowed to go to the audition, but she knew in her heart that she could sing circles around her stepsisters. Finally, the big day came, and Cindy resigned herself to another day of chores. Suddenly, her cell phone beeped. There was a text message waiting for her. This is Bongo, your fairy text messenger. If you want to sing and get out of your crummy situation, go to 523 Wilson Boulevard, Suite 824 at 6 p.m. on Thursday, and tell them Bongo sent you. Oh, and don't stay past 9 p.m. or your voice will croak like a bullfrog. Cindy was so tired from washing dishes that having someone named Bongo mysteriously text her, calling himself a fairy text messenger, seemed like a reasonable idea, and although she seriously doubted his ability to make her voice sound like a frog, she thought she'd give it a try. Finally, the big day came. Cindy was so excited that she didn't pay attention while she was washing the dishes. She had to wash them twice because just when she was about to finish, she realized she had put pancake syrup instead of soap on the sponge. This was horrible! Earlier in the day, she ruined her breakfast by doing just the opposite. She put dish soap on her pancakes. Finally, it was time to leave. She quietly snuck out of the house and took an Uber downtown. Oh, it was a scary ride. The cab driver drove like a maniac. But she arrived right on time and was greeted by a snooty receptionist who directed her to a chair in the waiting room. She waited and waited and waited some more. Until finally, at 8:53, she was called back to meet burger time. She was so nervous, she forgot about the 9 o'clock deadline. She and Burger Time talked for a bit, and then, after a moment's hesitation, she burst forth in glorious song. Cindy was amazing. Just then, the cuckoo clock on the wall started to signal that it was 9 o'clock. Cindy felt a lump in her throat. Her next note warbled a bit. Oh no, she thought, and then coughed. Do you need some water? Burger Time asked. Cindy, not wanting to talk and take a chance of her voice really turning into a bullfrog's croak, held up a finger and then, humiliated, ran out of the room. Wait! Oh, wait! Burger Time yelled and ran after her. But to no avail, Cindy quickly scrambled out of the building and ran all the way home. In her haste, one of her shoes fell off. When she arrived there, she was sweaty, disheveled, and embarrassed. Even worse, nobody ever noticed she was gone. Then only things waiting to greet her were more dishes. Burger Time, who was so impressed with Cindy's performance, on the next day ordered the lowly interns to go to every singer's house with the shoe that Cindy lost and find the singer whose foot was a perfect match. They ran from house to house, knocking on doors, and knocked and searched some more. Until finally, they came to Cindy's house. They asked the stepsisters if either of them was the singer who had lost the shoe. Yes, they both answered. Little did they know that Bongo, the fairy text messenger, was listening outside the open window and was not going to let the stepsisters foil his plan. The first sister took the shoe and tried to slide it onto her foot. To her dismay, she could not fit it over the toe ring on her left pinky toe. She tried to get the ring off, but it was stuck on. Oh, seeing this, the interns moved on to the other sister. She started to put the shoe on and tried to put her heel down. Well, she pushed and pushed, but the back of her foot ballooned so big that the shoe would not go on. Giving up, the interns were about to leave when Cindy walked into the room. May I try? She asked. The stepsisters started laughing hysterically. The interns saw that there was nothing to lose and passed the shoe to Cindy. Effortlessly, she slid her foot into the shoe. It was a perfect fit. She then reached into her apron and pulled out the other shoe and put it on the other foot. The stepsisters were shocked and sat sullenly on the couch, staring at Cindy. With all the chores they made her do, they wondered how Cindy could have possibly had time to sing for Burger Time. But Cindy, because of her kindness and good nature, immediately forgave them for how badly they had treated her. She vowed then and there that there would never treat anyone the way she had been treated. Burger Time was thrilled when his interns told him the good news. He was so happy that he promised to make Cindy the next singing sensation. Things started to get better at home for Cindy, too. She doesn't have to do all of the housework alone anymore, and her stepsisters no longer make fun of her. Even the cats changed their ways. They still surprise Cindy, but now instead of clawing at her ankles, they simply come out and nibble them a little, as cats like to do. Cindy never had a chance to meet her fairy text messenger, Bongo, to thank him for all his help, and to this day, he remains a mystery. Because this all happened just a few weeks ago, Cindy, not a star yet, as those things take a long time. But don't be surprised if someday soon